Hi everyone, today I have got a seed haul for you guys. I bought seeds from two different companies, Johnny's and Baker Creek, and these are all going to be seeds for 2022. I already did one seed haul in the summer of 2021, and I'll link that down below if you want to see that one as well. But between these three orders, I am more than set for the next year. So I'll just go through and show you guys what I got, and these are going to be some of the things I'm going to be attempting to grow in 2022. So let's start with the Baker Creek seeds. Baker Creek is an heirloom seed company, so all of these seeds will be heirloom varieties. And let's start with the first one here. I've mentioned this a lot, but I really want to grow more onions in 2022 because we did not grow nearly enough in 2021, and we can really go through a lot of onions. And in addition to onions, I decided I should also try shallots because you would grow them very similarly. Shallots are smaller and they're great for cooking, and they're also more expensive when you buy them in the store, so I think that they're more worth your money to try growing these. And I also think that most shallots will store really well, like even longer than onions will. I've heard they can store like up to 10 months, which is amazing. So I got a packet of those. I bought another variety of tomatoes. These are part of the Artisan series of tomatoes, and this is the Pink Bumblebee. It's really pretty. It has those pink and orange stripes, and these are more of like a cherry tomato but a little bit larger. Next I have the Armenian Yardland cucumber. I know this one is pretty popular, especially lately. They get really long, hence why it's called the Yardland cucumber, and I think it's actually botanically a melon, but you harvest it when it's young and you can use it just like a cucumber. But you can eat it both ways, young as a cucumber or fully grown as a melon. So this is going to be a new one for us that I'm excited to try out. Next, I just have a packet of cilantro. Nothing too special about this. I don't really think like different varieties of cilantro have too much of a difference, but I just needed to restock because I used up all my seed last year. So there's that. And then I have a packet of orange watermelons here. This is the Orange Glow variety. We have only tried growing one variety of watermelons before, and it's done like so-so for us. So I'm excited to try a different one and see if we have better luck with that. This is a free packet of seeds that came with our order, some lettuce seeds. And then the rest of these are all going to be flowers. Some of them are going to be for our cut flower garden, and some of them I'll probably just scatter around in our landscaping and maybe around our vegetable gardens, but not too many of these will be for our vegetable gardens because we do tend to stick to the more typical like companion plants like marigolds and nasturtiums. But anyway, the first one is butterfly milkweed, and this is the common variety. I have another variety that's like a white swamp milkweed, and I tried to sow that last year and it didn't really work out, so I bought this one as well. I thought that since this one's the more common one, maybe it would be easier to germinate and grow. And for both of these milkweed varieties, I'm going to try starting them using the winter sowing method, which is where you sow them in jugs and keep them outside starting around January or February. So I'm actually going to be doing that very soon. And if you don't know, milkweed is the only plant that provides food for monarch caterpillars. So that's why I want to have this one, because we do have monarchs that come visit our property and I would like for them to have a habitat. Next, we have some Korean Golden Jubilee Hyssop. This past year, I grew Hyssop for the first time, and that variety was anise hyssop. It did really well for us, and I think it will come back in our zone, so hopefully it will come back in the spring and grow all throughout the year. The bees have loved the hyssop and also the butterflies as well, and I just thought it would be fun to try a different variety. You can see here that these leaves are really chartreuse golden green, and I think that would be really pretty as a landscaping plant. And anise hyssop has leaves that are more like a medium green, so even though they are pretty similar, I just thought it would be fun to have the two different kinds of foliage colors. Next, I have a few packets of asters. I've never grown asters before, and I just couldn't choose one variety, so I got three. This first one, the Matsumoto Formula mix, I think this is probably like the most common kind of asters. Then I have a salmon one, which is like a pale peachy pink. And then I also have a giant mix with a whole bunch of colors. From what I've read from other people's comments, Asters are a really long lasting cut flower and they can last up to 2 weeks in the vase. So I wanted to try these out and they look really pretty as well. And lastly, I have a packet of Gomphrena, and it looks like this variety has white and purple Gomphrena. Last year we grew a red variety that did really well and I really enjoyed those, so I thought it would be nice to try out a few different colors. So that's it for the Baker Creek seeds, and let's move on to Johnny's. I really like ordering from Johnny's because I think that their seeds are really high quality, and I also love the backs of their packets because they have so much information on them. They really have a lot of good tips, especially if you are new to certain varieties that you've never grown before. They tell you how to start them, how to harvest them, how to grow them, and even like tips on diseases and sometimes tips on germination. So it's really helpful. The front of the packets are kind of boring to look at and they don't have pictures, so I'll pop the pictures up for these varieties on the screen. While the Baker Creek seeds are all heirloom seeds, I like to shop at Johnny's for hybrid seeds. And I am becoming more and more of a fan of hybrid seeds because there are certain things that are really hard for us to grow either due to our climate or due to pests. And that's where hybrids can really shine and help you if you're having trouble with certain things. So for example, the first two seeds I have here are broccoli and cauliflower, and these are two things that we don't really have too much success with because our summers do get very hot and we don't really have a long enough of like a spring or fall to grow things. So I decided to try some hybrid varieties because the heirloom varieties that we had were not working out too well for us. So for the broccoli, I have this Green Magic hybrid broccoli, and this one is supposed to tolerate heat pretty well so that you can plant it in the spring and then harvest it in the summer, and I think you can also do it as a fall crop as well. And then I have a cauliflower, which should also have more heat tolerance than other varieties. Next, I have a packet of King Richard leeks. These are the variety of leeks that I grew last year and they did well, and I'm just restocking on these because these seeds were on sale. If you've never shopped at Johnny's before and you're used to like kind of more affordable seeds, I will admit that generally their seeds are more expensive, and that's actually why I picked up this packet because it was on sale. So I always like to go through their sale section and see what they have that's available because I don't really want to pay full price for all of these varieties, but if there's something that we already grew that we had good luck with, I might as well just pick it up while it's on a little bit of a discount. I've got another packet of onions. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna go crazy with onions next year. I think I have like already 5 or 6 different varieties that I'm going to try growing, and that'll be really cool. And this one is a hybrid red onion variety called Cabernet. Next, I have some rhubarb seeds. Rhubarb is a perennial and I've never grown it and I've never eaten it either, but I just really wanted to try growing these. I didn't actually know you can grow these as seeds. I thought you could only get them as live plants, but I thought this would be fun to try. And I think I'm going to try doing the winter sowing method for these as well. I feel like that method does tend to work very well for a lot of perennials, so I'm gonna try doing that, but then also just try starting it indoors 5 to 7 weeks before our frost date like it says on the back as well. So we'll see how that does. It will take a couple years before we're able to harvest from it, but if it comes back year after year, then I'm all for perennials that we don't have to do much work for. Next, I have some yellow zucchini called Golden Glory. Zucchini, again, is another thing that we have trouble growing, mostly because of our pests. We have the right climate for it, but we do have a lot of pests as well. So I'm wondering if these hybrids will have more of a resistance. So we'll see how that goes. And then I have another variety of pickling cucumbers. And I wanted to try hybrids for these because of our like fungal diseases. We get a lot of powdery mildew because it's so humid here. So yeah, another thing I just wanted to try and see if the hybrids would be better. And this one is called Little Leaf. Next I have a few varieties of tomatoes. I have the BHN1021. This is the one that I grew last year and I really liked it. The seeds are crazy expensive, so I did want to get one pack of these just because I know they'll do well for us. But then I went on their website and I looked at a few other hybrid varieties that I wanted to try, and these were a little bit cheaper, and I kind of want to do an experiment. I'll do like a few plants of each kind, and if these cheaper varieties do just as well, then I can stick to these instead of paying like, I think this was like almost $8 for a packet of seeds, which is wild. So anyway, the two other ones that I'm going to be trying is the Celebrity, which I think I've heard other people grow this and really enjoy it. And this is like a larger kind of slicer tomato, but it's also supposed to be pretty good for canning, I believe, like if you're doing diced tomatoes. And the other one is called Plum Regal, and this is a paste tomato, so this will be better for making like sauces and that kind of thing. We'll see how those do. I'm excited to try them. I think this year I have like 14 different varieties of tomatoes that I'm going to be growing. So it's pretty exciting, and we'll just see what the results are at the end of the year. A few other things that I got in their sale section, I have some red flame peppers. These are like cayenne peppers, and I've never grown cayenne peppers before. I want to try growing them and dehydrating them, grinding them up, and making our own cayenne pepper seasoning. And then lastly, I have some Larkspur seeds. This is just a mix of colors. It's called the Galilee mix, and this one was on sale and I got like a huge packet of it. I think it has like 1,000 seeds in there. And these ones are really good to sow in the fall or early spring because they do need to go through like a chill period. It's nice that I got this like huge packet of seeds on sale because I can just go out and like scatter these and not really have to worry if they don't all germinate. But I really enjoyed the Larkspur that we grew last year. It was really pretty, so I'm happy to have those. So those are all the seeds that I bought this time. I am committed to not buying any more seeds for this year because I was going through my seed box the other day and already starting to plan out the 2022 garden, and I have a lot of things to grow this year. It's all very exciting and I'm really looking forward to the 2022 gardening year. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this is like a really good time to be looking at and buying seeds for the next year, so maybe you got some ideas from some of the stuff that I showed you here. Let me know what you guys are most excited to grow in this coming year in the comments down below, and I'll see you again in the next video.